Following a ghost invasion of Manhattan paranormal enthusiast Aaron Gilbert and Abby Yates, nuclear engineer Julian Holtzman, and subway worker Pally Tolan band together to stop the otherworldly threat. Otherworldly threat? Fuck that! The intro, you know what channel this is, and you know who I am. So let's get into this otherworldly threat. Alright, I'm gonna give you the pros, because there's very little of them, and then the cons, so we'll be talking about the cons for a little while. The pros of this movie is that Kate McKinnon is so fucking hilarious in this movie. You may not know the name right off the bat, but she comes out in Saturday Night Live. She's a featured player in SNL, and she's the woman that makes fun of Justin Bieber. She does the Justin Bieber skits. She also does the Ellen skits and a whole bunch of other just amazingly funny skits. She's great in that movie. She's kooky and crazy and just like weird, and also surprise comedic like breakout role for this person. Chris Hemsworth, aka Thor, aka Daddy Big Guns Long Hair, does such an amazing job in this fucking movie. He's so fucking quick with the wit, and he plays into that part, that dumb blonde part, so well, and it works. Seeing this gender role swap, is that what they say? And I'm doing it. That's when you swap things, when your fingers are like that, like they're fighting, but they're not. They're swapping. Also, Leslie Jones is good, and she's really good in this movie. I like seeing her be front and center in this movie, even though they kind of treat her like the Ghostbusters janitor that has a proton pack. Also, another good thing about the movie is the weapons upgrades. They do a cool thing with the weapons upgrades. They have other things besides the proton pack. They have like this cool ghost gauntlet thing that Melissa McCarthy's using at one point that shoots a proton laser out, and they have like a net that catches them, and a shredder type gadget that they make some crazy bullshit science word for, and that's cool. And they have one scene in particular that stood out to me. That's why I was like, Kate McKinnon was like the best Ghostbuster in this movie. It's like Kate McKinnon is walking with like dual wield handguns, like she's just fucking like blasting motherfucking ghosts like right up their ghost assholes and ghost vaginas and ghost orifices, just kicking everybody's ass. And that action scene is fucking perfect. It's awesome. It's what that whole movie should have been filled with. Just a whole bunch of cool comedians and chick comedians kicking fucking ass with some proton packs on their backs. So all that was cool. Now let's get into the shit that I didn't like. What I didn't like was oh wait, I'm forgetting one good thing. The beginning of the movie was pretty good. Like before the beginning credits rolled, the title screen rolled out, the beginning scene was pretty good. Like it made me think like, oh shit, this is gonna be like a fucking good, like almost like a scary movie here. Like it had a lot of suspense building up, and it was kind of cool. Like it looked cool. And I think that was about it. Other than that, like it was just kind of like real hit and miss for me. The CGI was so bad. It was like 2005 CGI. That turned me off really badly on the movie. Another thing too was the villain. The villain was so unmemorable. Rowan. His name's Rowan North, and I'm surprised that I remember his name because like they said it like all of 3 times. I think it was like once in the beginning, and like the other 2 times were at the end of the movie. And the reason I fucking had to look up this guy's fucking name to remember who he was. Like I barely remember that he was the villain. So like that says it all right there. And his motive is very fucking stupid. His motive is just like, oh, nobody likes me, I'm so nerdy and weird, and they drill that fucking home. They constantly are saying like, oh, look at this weirdo, oh, look at this weirdo. Like, okay, we get it, he's the weird bad guy, we get it, we get it, we fucking get it. That's stupid. I didn't like that at all. That villain is such a throwaway villain. We need a good villain. Where are all the good villains? Marvel's making pure throwaway villains. Everybody's making throwaway villains. Where are the memorable villains at? Come on, Hollywood. Help me out. Another thing that I didn't like was the humor. The humor was very, like, hit and miss. Like, very hit and miss. I'm not gonna lie. There was a couple of times where I laughed. Like, even laughed out loud. I LOL'd at the Ghostbusters movie. And I don't have a vagina. So that goes to tell you that it's not a woman's movie. It's not a chick flick. But most of the time the jokes were super corny. They went for like fart humor, dick jokes. I mean, which the dick and fart jokes are funny. but when they're like in a rated R comedy, not like in a PG comedy, like as opposed to this movie, the Ghostbusters. So the jokes fell kind of flat for me. Even at one point they killed the Stay Puft guy by shooting. No, it wasn't the Stay Puft guy. It was spoilers, the Ghostbusters emblem guy coming to life, and they had to shoot him in the dick with a proton laser, and they pulled him down like that. So that was kind of weird. Another thing too that I didn't like was the editing of the movie. The editing of the movie was fucking stupid. I think the person they had editing this movie was a drunk fucking monkey behind a computer screen, or has maybe never heard the term editing before, and they tried their hand at editing this. And it was just very fucking weird. It was edited weird. Prime example was one scene when they're in their, I'm gonna call it their Ghostbusters HQ. They were kind of trying to figure out who was the bad guy, and before they could even have the scene where they figured out who was the bad guy, they already knew who the bad guy basically was. They were just like, oh yeah, he's setting up these stupid ass ghost devices everywhere to conjure up some ghosts. See what I did there? Conjure ghosts. I'm fucking clever, right? Alright, let's not get off track here. Yeah, that scene was stupid. They were like, oh, it's him, you know, he's setting up all these things. They kept saying him, but they have never met the bad guy. They don't even know if it's a man or woman that's doing this, or this could even be another ghost doing this. So they just flat out already knew that this was a guy doing this. And then later on, like 2 seconds later, Leslie Jones comes in with a picture that, I don't know where the fuck she found it, but she's just like, oh, it's that guy, Rowan North, who we've never mentioned before, but now we all know because remember we went to that hotel that one time like 30 minutes earlier? Yeah, it's that guy. And they're all like, what the fuck? What? Oh, duh, that's totally a Rowan thing to do, even though we don't know him. This movie's edited really fucking weird. Another prime example of the editing was earlier, going back to that first scene where it was super awesome, but it was out of place. Like you can tell that wasn't supposed to be the pre-title scene. It was really suspense-filled, and then right after that super suspense-filled pre-title scene that got you hooked and open, it came out with the Ghostbusters! Like what? We're supposed to be like happy after we just saw some guy possibly die from a ghost? So yeah, that was weird. It was edited very fucking weirdly. And another thing, so much Sony product placement. It's like if the movie Ghostbusters just bowed down and was like, please Sony, make this movie happen. We know we got a lot of internet haters, but haters gonna hate. So come on Sony, help us out here. And they fucking did, and they stuck Sony's dicks back in return and let them come all over the Ghostbusters face. Fun fact, that's why the Ghostbuster emblem is white. That's Sony's cum on that ghost. Everything is Sony. Their cameras are Sony. Every billboard is fucking Sony. I'm surprised they weren't eating Sony food. It was fucking insane. It was just pushed on you like, whoa. Like I think even my niece was just like, is this Sony's Ghostbusters? I'm like, yes it is. That should be in the title. Speaking of the title is fucked. Ghostbusters Answer the Call. What the fuck does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? Are they referring to Kevin, Chris Hemsworth's part? How he's always answering the call because he's the receptionist? Is that a nod to that? Or what is that a nod to? Get back to me on that one, Ghostbusters. I'll be waiting. Other than that, I mean, there wasn't, I mean, okay, I know I shitted on this movie pretty bad, like diarrhea, shitting, like after eating carnival food and having diarrhea. I know I said mean things about this movie, but regardless of that, this movie isn't fucking terrible. It's not a terrible movie. It's bad, but it's not terrible. It's not Batman and Robin. It's like Batman Forever. Yeah, it's like Batman Forever. It's not super bad. It didn't fucking kill my childhood. And besides, if a movie kills your childhood, you need to reprioritize your life. You may have not even had a fucking childhood. So I'll just leave you with that. And, I mean, I hate to say this, but this movie is one of the better summer blockbusters in a summer season where we've had, like, shit piled into our eyeballs to watch. So, I mean, I guess I'll leave you with if there's something shitty playing in your neighborhood, who you gonna call? Not Ghostbusters!